Yeah, I know it's green. That's why I'm late. My friggin' computer has been doing this lately. Malia will tell you. Not reading the. Welcome to the Walter Bosley channel. This Wednesday in September. Yeah, I'm a little pissed off about this screen thing because it's my computer. It works great on when we're doing it through her computer, through her laptop, but my computer, my friggin' whatever it is, will not cooperate, and it does bother me. So we'll see. Sometimes it just pops right in. Let me see if I just upload something. Let me see. Maybe if I just upload something different. Maybe that'll work. You get to do tech stuff with me, folks. Isn't this fun? I hate it. Anyway, that's it. I'm just gonna remember the old Bill O'Reilly thing? Do it live. I'm gonna do it green. So welcome to the Walter Bosley channel. I'm having rear screen projection issues, and I've been distracted right up to the beginning of the show with my mind on other things. So I apologize for not starting up with, hey, Walter Bosley. About 1 month from now, we're going to be having the Nymzacon. And Olav and I are going to be discussing that here shortly. Some quick things first. The book, pretty soon, it's going to be ready for release. I'm excited about it. There's a bunch of you that have already bought it, pre-order. I thank you. You save $5 off the cover price by doing that. So this is good. Let me think. That's coming very soon. As you know, we're going to be selling streaming tickets so that you, anywhere on the face of the globe with access to a computer, you will be able to attend the Nymzacon via your computer. And yes, by the end of this week, we will have the link up for the purchase of those streaming audience tickets. Okay, so have no fear, have some patience. I know you're excited. You guys want to sign up for those, and we're really excited to offer that to you. But by the end of this week, we should have those tickets. And I believe they're going to be $20. So for $20, you're going to get 5 amazing speakers. 4 plus me. But maybe 6. I don't know. We're trying to see. It's a full busy day with the 5 speakers that we're going to have. Some of you, of course, are going to be attending live in person. But we're looking forward to reaching as many people as we can on this event. So there we go. Looking forward to that. Look for that this week. And of course, we'll announce it as soon as we get the link up for those tickets. And but that's only a month away. And it's really only days away until the book Nymza, How America Sold Its Soul will be released and available. For those of you who have already purchased it via the pre-sales, the pre-orders, as I said a few days ago, last week, what the pre-order did was save you $5 off of the cover price, as stated before. Some people have asked, how and when do I get my book? Do you guys ship them out? It is still done through the usual distribution process. The difference is, if you've pre-ordered, we enter your data, your name, your address, where you want it shipped to, and all that. And then it's just the normal process. Once your book is printed, it will be packaged and shipped to you by the distributor, not us personally. Okay. So it'll come to you the same way any of the other books you order from my company, Lost Continent Library, Corvos. You know, some of you actually don't know the name of the publishing company. I understand. When you order the books through the Lulu sales page, same process, but the pre-orders save $5 off the cover price. So that's the benefit of the pre-order. And it's going to be ready soon. So I'm kind of excited. I told you September. It's going to be finished and put in the system this month. So there's that. There's the Nymzacon streaming tickets, and I think that's all the announcements we've got right now, and I think we ought to just jump into it. So without further ado, allow me to bring in Olav Phillips, a guy I met at I believe that's where we met, was the 2015 SSP conference in Austin, well, Bastrop, but Austin area, unless we met before that at the 2014. That might have been the case. Olav will clear that up as soon as I bring him in. So Olav Phillips, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Hey, I was just telling the folks where we met. It was at the 2015 SSP conference, or was it before that?
2015. We started talking a little bit before then, but
yeah.
We hung out first at the 2015.
Yep, at Bastrop.
Yes, I had questions about Keys to the Kingdom. Your book about Disneyland.
Oh yes, my first nonfiction book, and boy, when I look at that book, I can tell it was my first nonfiction book.
No, it's still good.
So it's going to be, that's one of the ones that's going to be getting a revision. So I figured as I told the folks, we're going to be talking about, as they can see on the title, we're going to be talking about our Nymzacon coming up, but then we're going to get a little bit into SSP, just our comments about where it's at now, where it's been the last 8 years now since we were at that conference. And
balls and chicken.
Yeah. And of course, I want to comment on yet again more alien mummy bullshit. And you can say things like bullshit and the F word here, because I'm not monetized and I'm not seeking to be monetized. I don't care to be monetized. So
I have to remember, I have a show on an actual FM station here, and I have to remind myself every time, I can't say fuck. I can't say fuck.
Well, here at the Walter Bosley channel, you can say it. So anyway, so there we go. So Olav, we have coming up in about a month this event that we have talked about in the past
for
wanting
years.
to make, for some years now, wanting to make this happen, and now it just seems like now is the time that it's coming together. And you actually live in the Sonora area now.
I live in Sonora.
In Sonora proper, okay.
In Sonora proper, yeah.
Mm.
Turn right at the Red Church, and then you hang a left, and I'm over there.
Okay. Well, I'm really looking forward to this event, not just not just because of the event, but getting up there and seeing you again, and seeing your place and just presenting these speakers. I'm excited that for those of you who don't know, if you're watching this first time, we're going to have Sesha-Ree, we're going to have Olav, we're going to have Dr. Joseph Farrell speaking remotely, and Alan Greenfield.
Dr. Alan Greenfield.
Yeah. So, and then myself, I'll be in there. And
maybe one more, if I can convince you he's worth it. Maybe one more.
Well, it's a matter of, can we squeeze them in, because our schedule is chock full, and I think we can. I think we should be able to squeeze them in. I know
he's a historian from here, so he.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. See. So there you go. There you go. Has there been much local reaction when you mentioned this to people or talking about it?
It's odd. In Tuolumne County, we talk about it a lot on the radio show. Mm-hmm. Tuolumne County is full of weirdness. Apparently in the state of California, we have one of the highest incidents of Bigfoot sightings and UFO sightings in the entire state. but for whatever reason, like people here don't talk about it. It's very bizarre. Like we can't, me and my co-host Captain Dave, we don't understand why. In fact, it's so bad that apparently in this, I never knew this, but apparently in the state capitol, there's like a hallway that has like stained glass windows from each county in California.
Oh,
And
nice.
so you get like Napa County, it's going to have like grapes and shit like that.
Yeah, San Bernardino County, I understand it has a trash dumpster with flames coming out of it.
It's probably true. I think LA County has several dumpsters.
Yeah, LA would be worse.
Yeah. and in San Francisco County, it's just meth. It's just a picture of meth. But
or a turd on a sidewalk.
Yes, I tripped over one of those on my way to the Tiki Bar in San Francisco. But anyway, so for Tuolumne County, apparently it has Bigfoot and a UFO. No joke.
That's cool.
But they don't talk about it here. Like we had a Bigfoot fest up in Twainhart, which is up above us.
Yeah.
But they don't. We have some of the top Bigfoot researchers in the country here.
Yeah.
But that actually like live down the road from me. But it's like they don't talk about it. I don't. The Sonora Aero Club is not big news here.
Right. And that's I guess I focus so much on my interest in the Sonora Aero Club. And you're right. When I was there, I would ask people, hey, do you know much about this? And they
have no idea.
Deer in the headlight, no. But I personally didn't know that there was such a Bigfoot history there. That is
it's huge. I've heard him screaming up in the higher altitudes.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, when you are here, try to come a little bit earlier because I found another graveyard. So one of the big problems with the whole Nymzacon Sonora Aero Club thing is everybody goes, well, where are the bodies? And people have gone.
I found a couple of the names in the graveyard, the one graveyard that I went to.
Right, that's the main one. But apparently, there's another one down the road from me, and there's a Masonic one the other way. It's like that.
Okay.
So I think they might be in there.
Oh, we got to check that out because I think I found the Newell name in town in Old Town Columbia.
Okay.
In some stuff there, and I can't remember the two names that I found in the cemetery. It's in my video that I did.
There's one it's odd because it's overgrown with rosemary, and I've never understood why. But yeah, it's the grave marker is completely overgrown by rosemary. If you want to make a stake, it's good news, but I don't understand the symbolism. I'm still trying to work that one out. But no, nobody knows here. And I was actually talking to my co-host Captain Dave, and we were saying that we'll get this Nymzacon under our belts, and then maybe for the next one we may have a place that's larger that we can do it. But he's been talking about the Sonora Aero Club up here for years, but it's just they don't talk about it.
It's as if somebody wants it to stay quiet, and that just intrigues me more.
Yeah, and it's the same with the hauntings. We have some of the most haunted stuff in California here.
Ooh, Malia will like that.
Yeah, I mean even the place where we brought the radio station is located in this place called the Dome. The Dome's haunted. Like a couple blocks down is the Tuolumne County, the old Tuolumne County Hospital. That was on Ghost Adventures. I mean, it scared them so badly that they ran away.
Oh, I like that.
Columbia's, half that town is haunted. And one of the interesting things is that when you think about Sonora, the town, it has so many like gold mining tunnels.
Yes,
pretty much the entire downtown is tunneled out.
There's that one store, candy shop or whatever they made it kind of a museum thing, right? And their bookstore is in some of the.
Yeah, I think it's called the Thirsty Prospector now.
Yeah, and that's where Sesharia and I got some sarsaparilla. Now, folks, if you are a fan of root beer, Sonora, Columbia is the right place to be because they got some fine sarsaparilla. recipes up
they
there, and
were
you can get it fresh. Oh my God,
it's so good.
it's good stuff. The one in the saloon, the root beer in the saloon in Old Town Columbia, that one saloon, you know where I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I do.
Oh my God, Seshery and I couldn't control ourselves. We each had two.
Well, what you
So
do is the saloon at the end of the road
yeah.
is St. James. You get a sarsaparilla there, and the pizza is phenomenal, and it's also a ECV hangout. That's where the ECV guys go.
Oh, maybe we'll run into some of those
Oh no,
guys.
you will. They're all over because this is basically where it started.
See, I don't know where you're at. I'm in the school of thought that there's some people that say, well, if it's an ECV related thing, then it's all bullshit because all they
Oh,
ever
no,
do is, and I'm like,
no.
no, 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 you don't get what they're doing and what they're about.
Yeah, they have a
They,
hidden archive somewhere.
I think they protect as much as they mock or
I'm
poke fun at.
I'm a big fan of the ECV. I think that they really do protect Western history.
Hmm.
There's I forget the guy's name, but they're over in Lincoln. There was a guy who built it was an airplane,
Hmm.
no dirigibles, but it was an airplane that was steam powered, and he beat the Wright brothers. And it's only because of ECV that there's a plaque there that anybody knows about it at all.
Yeah. Tell folks what ECV is. So some
Oh,
folks don't know.
Eclampus Vitas. They're a secret society that basically protects the history of the West. And you'll see there are actually websites that track. They put up plaques everywhere that talk about things. In fact, there's an arrow plaque in Pleasanton at the airport or the Livermore Airport.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
know, I'd like to add too, folks, that
which is true.
Adam Sane has gone out to this site with me. I've gone out there with Greg Bishop, but at the Integratron, the plaque that's there that talks about what the Integratron was about, including time phenomena and stuff.
Right.
That ECV put that there on the
And they
back
pay for
of the cement. It's embedded with their stamped ECV,
yeah,
Eclampus Vitas.
these Columbus Vitas.
So
And they pay for all that. They
yeah,
don't bill it back to the state. They arrange for the location. They pay to have it installed,
yeah.
and they have
We
some very beautiful plaques. But they do drink a bit, but that kind of goes with Western history. But
yep.
every the few people I've met that are ECV, they're good people, and I think they provide a very valuable service.
Oh, sure, sure. And again on that issue of what they're protecting, I wonder if Bill Moore, William Moore is in ECV because of he was one of the ones that said, "Oh, I went and looked for the names around Sonora and found absolutely nothing." And I'm
Right.
like, Bill is a much better researcher and investigator than that. And
Yeah.
so my reaction was, okay.
What are you not telling me?
What's that?
It's what are you not telling me?
Exactly. Why are you saying it's don't look here, folks, there's nothing to find, or is it the because of what we're saying, it's gonna make some people look even harder where it's gonna, most people are gonna go, well, I'll take his word for it. Because
Why?
that's the kind of society we're in. We got a lot of people that are just willing to take somebody's word for something. I mean, look at the ufology community, right?
Yeah. And
They're willing to take people's words for things.
swastika shaped moon bases.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's those who are like, no, no, that's exactly what I'm going to dig
Well,
into.
the thing that's always boggled my mind is that aside from Del Shaw's art
Yeah,
and his schematics, there's nothing. And
right.
where did it all go? You
There's
don't.
just the names. There are the names, but
But,
you have to admit, if he was faking it, he could have pulled those names out of local stuff anyway,
sure,
also and
but
faked.
but he was a draftsman for them, and that stuff that he did was art. That's not draftsman work.
Right.
To build all that stuff on a scale that they built it, they had schematics, they had documentation, they
Oh
had
yes.
where is it? I wonder if the ECV's got it in a vault somewhere.
There you go. That's a very good question. Very good
Because
point.
they are very well organized. And
Yeah.
like I said, their whole thing is to protect the history of the West. And I don't don't think you can talk about the Sonora Aero Club or the things that have happened here without addressing ECV. And ECV, I think they probably do know more than we think they do. And
Well, I think they do.
oh yeah,
and speaking of,
as a non-member, of course,
if they have the schematics, say,
I think
for the Sonora Aero Club's devices, then I wonder what they have of George W. Van Tassel's stuff
right.
on the
or the guy from up in Lincoln with his steam-powered aircraft.
Yeah,
because it flew. And you know, I forget which Aero it was, the one down in Livermore that somebody, I think probably the Sonora Aero Club, lit on fire and destroyed it. The one that was backed by the hearse. Well, he had lots of documentation too. Where did that go?
Oh, Marriott. No relation to the hotel Marriott's. Marriott, his thing, was the one that I think Hearst invested in. It
Hearst
blew
invested in it.
And he was Ambrose Bierce's boss, the Marriott guy, at one time. Bierce had worked for both Hearst and this guy.
But
in fact, it's in this book right here. I'll tell you exactly. It's in Secret Missions 3, Destination Carcosa, available at Lulu.com, Amazon, and Walter Bosley.
I need to buy that one.
This is I'm telling you, this I'm very proud of this book, and it's one of my books that gets ignored big time.
They're all good.
Well,
I love your writing.
Some are better than others.
I love your writing, Walter.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, it just keeps getting better because I try harder. Frederick Marriott, I think, is who you're talking about, financed and built the original Avator, which flew twice, burning out of the sky on its second flight. Let me see if I can get this up here for folks. There you go. If you can see that, that's a model of the Avator.
Hold on. Let me.
Oh, did you want to look? Oh, you're going to look that up? Here's Frederick Marriott himself. Put a face to that. Looks like a happy fellow, kind of goes through life just happy, go lucky. And let's see, there might even be some more interesting stuff in here. Nope. I thought maybe more airship guys in here, but that's the main one that anyway. So that's that. Yeah, Frederick Marriott and his Avator. Marriott. Indeed. So yes, you mentioned something. Charles Delshell is the one bona fide source we have on NIMZA. There are no other documented sources. Now, however, there is mention of NIMZA.
Tolliver.
Pardon?
The Tolliver airship.
Oh, the Tolliver one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know as much about Tolliver. Tell me about Tolliver.
Well, it was invested by Hearst, and it was kind of on the fringe of the Sonora Aero Club. I don't think it was completely authorized.
Right.
And he was building it out at the Pleasanton Airport. He had a hangar, and he got it airborne. It was functional, and he went to do the maiden flight, and somebody lit it and the hangar on fire. Completely destroyed it. Could have been Sonora Aero Club because it wasn't authorized. Could have been NIMZA. I don't know, but somebody destroyed it. But Hearst was an early investor. I'll send you some info.
Oh, that really obviously makes the exclamation points go off above my head because someone did it on purpose. That's interesting.
This is the inscription. 8 miles southwest of this location in the spring of 1904, Charles Tolliver built an airship with an aluminum superstructure that covered 6,000 yards of Rongi silk. The craft was to be 250 feet long, 40 feet wide, 44 feet high, 4 gasoline-powered engines with 6 propellers, 2 on each side, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. There was no need for rudders. Mrs. Phoebe Hearst was the main financial backer, contributing $72,000 to the project. First flight was to be late February 1907. There were several ground accidents, and it never flew. But it was actually lit on fire if you look into it. Or I'll send you a link.
Interesting.
Little on the fly research while I'm talking to Walter.
Yeah. Hey, that research happens. That's the way I
Well,
look
that's
at
how
it.
it works, right? You get two people in a room, so to speak, and you figure stuff out.
Yeah.
That's
And
all.
and now that we're between what's sitting in front of us and these things,
Yeah.
it's almost funny because I'll be sitting there talking with somebody about an old movie or TV show or something, and I'll say, I
Right.
wonder, and then they'll say, you have a computer right there in your pocket.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right.
Hey,
But
hey Siri, tell me what XYZ is.
I have found for me that the deeper you look at what Delshau tells us about Nimza and Sonoran stuff, the harder it is to legitimately still stubbornly insist that Delshau was nothing but an outsider
Oh,
artist.
absolutely.
Um,
And I think that the harder you look at Nimza, the more you realize that there's something there. Because
yeah.
you were talking about the secret space program. When you
Mhm.
talk about Kamler, I was doing some research on Kamler a while back, and there was an interview with another SS officer who was talking about Kamler, and the person said that he was a good Nazi, and he was a very devout SS member, but the guy had the sense that Kamler was Kamler's master was really someone else. It wasn't Himmler.
Hmm.
And Kamler was Prussian. Everybody that's involved in the secret weapons program for the Third Reich, where the bell comes into play and all this other stuff that's linked back intrinsically to NIMZA and the Sonora Aero Club, they're all Prussian.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and there you have Delshau with that, description of the representative sent from Germany by Nimza,
Right.
that Prussian officer.
Exactly.
Now the thing about the bell, when I stumbled upon, there it is, Delshau pretty much depicts the bell in
In two
a
places.
couple of his drawings. Yeah, there it is. And I contacted Stephen Romano because I first saw it in the book that he published, that fantastic book, The Art of
Oh
Delshau.
yeah. That's
Um, and I said, "Hey, did you know that the bell was in there?" And he was, "Oh my God, which pages?" And I told him the illustrations, and that's why I was excited to put it in. I think I put it in 3 books now. It
well,
definitely
it's a
warranted.
big deal. I mean,
It is a big deal. There is the friggin' bell. Now we got
yeah,
to ask ourselves, if the bell is a complete fabrication, did it
right.
start because some guy after World War II saw the Delshau material and said, "Hey, I'll make up this crap," or
Well,
is there something to it and we can trace it back to this?
the Bell story came from Sporenberg.
From who?
Jacob Sporenberg. He was in the police division of the SS. He was captured, I think, in Czechoslovakia, and he was trying to save his own ass. And so he
Yeah.
told them, "Hey, don't kill me, don't execute me, even though I'm an asshole. Don't execute me. I got a story for you." And so they're like, "Okay." And so I think it was Polish or Czech intelligence. They go through the whole thing with him and they write it all down. And then they said, "Well, that's great." And then they executed him.
Well,
But
but remember that didn't emerge during the World War II era. It
no, no,
emerged decades later in
right.
the
It was
90s.
this. It was this. What's his name? Who wrote the search for
Uh,
Zero Point? And he,
well, quite Wykowski
well, yeah,
is
like
who he
has
got it from, and he got it from a Polish
intelligence. Right.
intelligence
Yeah,
officer?
that's and that guy got it from the archives of when they interrogated Sporenberg. So
He says, yeah, we
yes,
we have to go on a testimony at that
that's
point.
fine. But that's
Yeah.
way before anybody had ever heard of Delsha.
Oh, yeah. No, time out. Um, uh, remember, Pete Navarro finds the stuff in Ned Washington's junk shop in 1971, and I believe by the 1980s, the Del Shao art had already been featured in, or before that, had already been featured in the Demonils
Yeah,
Museum.
but the story itself was echoed by a German officer at the
You
end of
mean
the
the
war.
bell?
Yeah,
The bell
yeah,
specifically,
yeah.
but Del Shao's art had been public
True.
before then. We
But,
have to acknowledge that.
nobody noticed the bell is in there until you found it.
Was I really the first?
Yes.
All
You're the
right.
first.
Okay, cool. Because I never saw it mentioned before. But here's the way my mind works, Olav, is okay, I may be the first that we can identify that noticed that, but if it was there, it could have been noticed by someone before me. I have to, that has to be acknowledged. So that's the thing when you're trying to solve these kinds of things or validate these kinds of stories. You have to consider, is it possible someone could have seen this prior, and therefore if it's possible it must be acknowledged. Whether that's what your gut tells you is the truth, you got to acknowledge it, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah. But that's where we're at.
Have you seen I did my video, it's on this channel, I did it last year and a half ago maybe, about the problems, the controversy over the bell. And I wonder if you're familiar with Dean Koontz novel Lightning.
No.
I wonder what his source was, because that's a novel he wrote in the 80s, late 80s, I think. And wow, the things they say about the bell. And essentially the bell is in his novel, but it's not vertical, it's horizontal. But everything about this, and it's a time travel device, and everything about it matches the description, even the dimensions and everything, that the Polish intelligence officer gave to Igor Wachowski in the
and then
early
Nick
90s.
Cook got it from Wachowski.
Yeah, and then Nick Cook got it from Wachowski, and the only difference is the device is vertical in the Polish intelligence officer's
Does it matter?
version. Well, no. Well, my question is, where did Koontz hear about this? Because the existence of Koontz's novel Lightning could indicate that the Polish intelligence officer was indeed telling the truth. So therefore, did Koontz become aware of Spornberg's testimony as well from another source? That's what I wonder.
Probably.
Because,
but you see, again, the more of these things that come up,
yeah,
the more you have to realize that it can't be fake. I mean,
I got to close the window. I got a gardener next door. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay. First, the green screen's not working. Malia's probably is shaking her head, is gonna smack me on the head when she sees me for not making the green screen work. But and yeah, I have to wonder. And in fact, I probably should contact Koontz, and ask him.
Sure.
I have his address. Hey, tell me
about Lightning,
where you learned about it. What's that?
Tell me about Lightning.
Ooh. Lightning is a novel that
tell Koontz that.
Oh, yeah. What exactly?
Lightning.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't read it, it's about Nazis traveling through time from World War II era up to what I think the present in the novel is the late 80s, early 90s. And basically they use a device that, as Olav and I have been talking about, is the description of the bell, but it's horizontal and it's a tube, okay, where they go from one time to the other, as you might imagine.
Different utilization of the same technology.
Yeah. And so
it's like sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, look for it in your bookstore. It's out there. I had to get a used copy, I think.
And it's like the Kecksburg thing, again, it's the bell.
Yeah, I totally think that what Kecksburg was our what it was is we got our hands on the bell, and Kecksburg was either us fooling around with the bell, or it was our early attempt. We had built our own bell, and I do think that's what Kecksburg was. It was.
Yeah, I figured it was a
UFO from another world.
I figured that it was a bell that was ejected.
So here's the thing, folks. Del Shao depicts the bell,
Mhm.
okay, in one of his drawings that had to have been done between 1893 and 1923
Right.
when he died. Now, folks, the lore of the bell is that they started, the actual bell, okay, according to the popular lore, um, is that they started messing with this in the late 1920s and early 1930s in secret, but they didn't develop the bell as we know it until late 1930s and into the World War II years. So Delschow had been dead, folks, for 16 years before World War II even started. He'd been dead for at least 5 or 6, 7 years before they started messing with it.
It's also important to point out that on the German side, everybody
Mhm.
involved that had any kind of power in the secret weapons program, the Wunderwaffen, was
Yeah.
tied to Prussia in some way,
Yes.
including Goering. Goering was the Reichsprotector of Prussia
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
obsessed with Prussia and married into the Prussian aristocracy. So everybody in Peenemünde and the Harz Mountains and all that other stuff, they're all tied into Prussia.
And folks, I go into the history of that, the whys and the wherefores in the Nimza book, How America Lost Its Soul. And I'm really looking forward to you guys, reading that book
I have
because
to read it.
I go into all of this. One of the things I go into is the fact that that culture that we're calling Prussian, ironically, that was a culture that was pasted on a geographical area. The people that developed that culture we call Prussian, that we know as Prussian, they weren't even geographical Prussians. They were a class of Germans who are behind all this crap, who through the Teutonic Knights took over the geographical territory known as Prussia, and the actual real Prussians born there, were the real culture there, they were essentially eliminated. And
And
this new corporate thing was pasted upon that region. They said, "Oh, we're the Prussians now."
and it's important also to point out that a lot of these secret societies that existed within Germany, they were supposedly working on this stuff like the Thule and the Vril. There
Mhm.
were a lot of Prussians that were in the higher ups of those groups.
Yeah.
So it's on the German side. Everywhere you go, it's Prussian, Prussian, Prussian.
Yeah.
Hang on 1 minute. Sorry, I gotta go. I actually have a bit of an emergency.
Oh, hey, no problem, no problem. You gotta take off, do it. Um, we'll
Thanks
do
for
this
listening.
again. We'll have you back on, and,
Yeah.
I can take it from here, and,
Okay.
I hope everything's okay, and
Oh
we
yeah.
will be talking soon,
Yes,
facilitating Nymzacon.
I will.
Alrighty, so thank you, Olav.
Anytime. Anytime.
Sure,
All
and
right.
we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, folks. Olaf had to take off. As you heard, he has a situation, some emergency pop up, and he's got to go. But there's Olaf Phillips. Now he's the author and publisher of some interesting books. He has his own label. He has published The Secret Cipher of the Euphonauts by Alan Greenfield. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. If you're not familiar with that material, the material that's in that book, that would be a good place to start.